Okay, so Elon Musk, right, always seems to be in the news. And this time it's his AI lab, XAI, and they've gone and acquired X. Did you know that? X, as you probably know, is what Twitter is called now. So yeah, pretty wild. I mean, this kind of move, well, it's complicated, but not totally out of character for Musk. He's done this kind of thing before. So let's see if we can break down what we actually know about this whole thing. First off, just think about the size of this. It's huge. XAI is pretty new on the scene, just came out last year. And the AI world, well, it's really booming right now, but XAI just absorbed X. And X has so much user data, it's really valuable. And as usual with Musk, first we heard about it, it was on X in a post by Musk. Yeah, I love the guy. He always keeps things interesting. If you're liking this breakdown so far, by the way, please hit that like button and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Okay, so what did Musk actually say? He said XAI bought X, and the combined value, get this, is over $110 billion. Oh, and X has about $12 billion in debt. So that's part of it too. People are saying X itself is worth around $45 billion. But honestly, besides what Musk posted, we don't really know much. He's not exactly giving us the full picture, is he? And that lack of transparency, well, it does make you wonder. Adam Cochran, he's from CEHV, and he pointed out that this whole thing, it's kind of familiar. Musk's ventures, they often have this kind of like secretive vibe. You know what I mean? Cochran actually thinks that this whole setup, the way they structured this deal, might be a way to deal with the debt X already has. Kind of clever, actually. He also made another point that I found really interesting. He said that XAI basically used its own equity to buy, well, something that was already mostly its own equity. It's kind of like a closed loop. Now, I know that sounds kind of confusing, so let me explain. When Cochran talks about XAI buying X with its own equity, he's basically saying to use shares of XAI as like currency for the deal. And the thing is, X already owned a big chunk of XAI, like 25%, because they gave XAI access to all that data for AI training. So it's almost like XAI is buying back part of itself. Cochran thinks this might be a way to keep X's value at that $44 billion mark. So the wild when you think about it. But let's zoom out a bit. Look at the bigger picture here. So we have XAI, value of $50 billion just last November. Now it's swallowing up X. But X's advertising revenue, according to eMarketer's data, it's still not back to where it was before Musk bought it. Interesting, right? And here's another thing. XAI and X, they weren't exactly strangers before this whole merger thing. I mean, X already had that 25% stake in XAI, remember? And that gave XAI access to all of X's data to train their AI models. So they were already working together, even sharing some employees. It's not like they came out of nowhere. This connection kind of makes sense when you hear how Musk described the acquisition, a natural evolution. But Matt Levine, he writes for Bloomberg, and he brought up a really good point about conflicts of interest. Like if you're an XAI shareholder and you're excited about the AI stuff, you might be wondering, why are we using so much of our value to buy a social media platform, especially one that some people think isn't doing so well? It kind of looks like a bailout, right? And this whole situation, it reminds me of when Tesla bought Solar City back in 2016. There are family connections there too. Musk's cousins started Solar City, and investors, they weren't too happy about it. They were worried that maybe it wasn't the best move for Tesla, taking on all that debt. And there seems to be a bit of a pattern here with these ventures. G. Munster, he's with Deepwater Asset Management, and he had money in both XAI and X. But at first he had some concerns too. Either mentioned Solar City gotcha monolith, like this is another one of those insider deals. But you know what? Munster actually thinks this merger is going to be good for both companies in the end. He gets that Musk, with his, history and everything, he kind of does what he wants, and people trust him, or at least they accept it. It's not just about the deals within his companies. Remember that whole thing with the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration? There were reports that they might be getting a big contract to Musk's Starlink. That raised some eyebrows too, people wondering if it was a conflict of interest. But here's the thing. Even with all these let's call them interesting moves and all the ups and downs with some of his companies, investors still seem to believe in Musk. I mean, look at the money he's made with Tesla. Early investors, they've done really well. And I think that gives him a lot of, leeway. People forget how much he's achieved. Remember when he bought Twitter? Everyone was saying it was a terrible idea, a bad business move. Now, look at the political influence that platform has. You can't deny it. So yeah, the story about that acquisition, it's definitely changed. And actually, Munster is pretty optimistic about the future of XAI and X together. He thinks they could create something really amazing, something way bigger than just the two of them separately. And I think that's what keeps investors interested, that potential for something groundbreaking. So here we are, XAI bought X. The financials are complicated, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and it really makes you think, what's the relationship between innovation and, a lack of transparency? And what about the power these big tech figures have? It's a big conversation. If you found this helpful, do us a favor and like this video. And subscribe for more deep guys. We really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Really appreciate it.